Sounds like the recording is in progress, so we're ready to start our second exciting episode here. I'm your host, Bill Gnagey, Senior Associate, Business Development Director, Super Dad, or as I like to call it, the Manager of Constant Chaos. Today I'm with Don Matthews. If you don't know Don Matthews, you should know Don Matthews. He is the Swiss Army knife of Arium. He is a little bit of everything, right, Don? Permit expert, the project manager of the year 2017. He was close in 2022, but it's just, I don't think we're going to see it again. Just one medal for you.
Okay.
Anyway, so I think we're just going to dive right into getting to know Don. Let's jump in.
Wow.
When did you start at Arium? When was Don's intro to the Arium world?
So Don just happened to be walking by.
Oh my God, this is
one day during the summer of 2006. And so
Don found Arium by walking by Arium, which just blows my mind.
2006.
We're literally in an office condo park nestled behind a funeral home and a DoubleTree hotel. The fact that you could walk past our office and say, look, I have a degree in architecture. That nondescript building houses an architecture firm.
Let me get to it. Summer of 2006. I only worked during the summers. I was still in college, and I was working for a tip agency, and they hired me out to the hospice across the hall.
Perfect.
And so
nobody knew that yet. Nobody knew that not only is there a funeral home behind us, the transitional services to said funeral home were right next door.
So I was hired to be the receptionist for a couple of days, and I walked.
That's so good.
I walked through the doors of the vestibule, and I saw that there was this Arium architects and engineers. And I was like, wait, this is great. This is godsend. I've been looking for an internship.
Surrounded by death for so many days, he was like, this is the sign that I needed.
I was looking for an internship. And so before I even went into the hospice, I stopped into the reception, and Judy was there.
Yep.
And I asked Judy, I said, hey, do you have any more spots for internships? So Judy went and got the principal, and Steve McLaughlin walked out, and he said, oh, I'm sorry, you're too late. But because this was June. And so he said, come back in March. I was like, okay, come back in March and we'll see what you can do. So since I had that this was June. So throughout the year, I was emailing
9 months passing our office.
Him and Steve emailing this, hi, remember me.
Saw you in the vestibule today on the way to my reception job.
And so I think in January, I got the email saying, come in for the interview. And then they hired me as an intern. So I started as an intern that May of 2007, and I have been here ever since.
This is a good segue. So Don started here in 2007. Don started, like I said, he is literally the Swiss Army knife of, I can think over the 18 years.
18 in May. It is May. So yeah, this month.
Yep.
Yeah.
Over those 18 years, I think you've done everything. I think there hasn't been a thing that Don hasn't done in our office. I think I have memories of you doing finish boards for Robin. I have memories of you surveying. I have memories of you doing hard labor, carrying boxes to trucks outside. And you started really getting a reputation of being the permit whisperer. So few people could get permits through the permit jurisdictions like Don Matthews could. And so eventually he got so good at it. We were like, Don, this should be a line item after your name on your signature. And we did make Don the director of permit services here at Arium.
Permit filing services.
I'm sorry. Permit filing services a few years ago / project architect, project manager. Yeah. I have gone to jurisdictions before and handed applications to people, and they'll say, how's Don Matthews doing? And it's like, oh my God, all these people know Don.
That's right. Those were the days. I'll say that was the pre-COVID days.
The pre-COVID days of actual interaction with human beings at permit offices.
We no longer really get to do that.
But you know everybody in those offices, which has
well, the most part. There are some people that are retiring, but again, it's my job to try to make those connections with
Yeah.
the new faculty that are coming in.
What are you seeing now? What is the in the permit world? I know things have adapted and changed post COVID, but like I think everything's becoming more uniform. It used to be that every jurisdiction was like a little, everyone had like a secret way of, not like secret way to get things through, but like the process. And like I feel
Well,
like
none of the processes are the same. There are maybe three or four different systems that everyone's using. So there are a lot of jurisdictions that have similar systems that they're using, but for the most part, they're individually different. And so, I mean, it's my job.
remember Anne Arundel County. Anne Arundel County, they used to have the like the quad fold system where you
Oh
had to
yeah,
like
well they got rid of that
yeah.
once they started the electronic system about 2 years ago. So yeah, you have to
So
fold
there
it in half, then
was,
fold it in
for
half
the
again.
OG members of the design community, you used to have to go down. And I remember going down there too. You used to have to go down there with
6 sets
6 sets of drawings stapled in correct collated order and then folded in the most obnoxious,
and rubber
like,
banded.
didn't Robin have like a tote carrier? Like there was like
Yeah,
a
I used
tote
it all the
carrier,
time.
a tote carrier for
Yes.
permit submission. So I kind of want to go through, truthfully, I kind of want to go through my list of things that I really just want to know if it's true or not.
Oh my God.
Hates the outdoors, yet owns an electric bike.
Well, how am I supposed to get to know the outdoors if I don't get outside, Bill?
It's true.
See?
Excellent. Moving on. So another
The
get to
elite
know
bowl.
Don. Don is from Prince George's County, grew up a Redskins, now Commanders fan, moved to Baltimore, somehow adopted the Ravens as well. For a
Because they
while,
weren't showing the
for a
Commanders games.
while, advertised himself as a Raveskins fan.
Correct.
Could not name anybody on either team. Amazing. Moving on. This one's a good one. Your favorite food is ribs, yet you don't know what animal it comes from.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's a cow, it's a pig. You know, it's one of them.
All right. What are the challenges that you're finding yourself running into mostly? Since I would say even since we've transitioned, we were just talking about the move away from personalized hands-on experiences at permit offices. Now that everything is like boring and done over the internet.
It's not boring. I appreciate now. At first I didn't, because I before COVID, I mean, you didn't know any better. You had to go out to the jurisdictions. You had to interact with the
Right.
reviewers.
And you hate the outdoors. So
And,
again,
well,
right.
I mean, but
Don't have to leave the
the
office.
permit offices were inside, but with air
Yeah, but
conditioning.
to get there,
Well,
that's a
I mean,
long electric bike ride.
hey, so you had to have that interaction with the reviewers, with the staff to, get anything that you needed accomplished. So if there are any issues, you knew exactly who to go to talk to. And so now with COVID and them not wanting to open their doors to really see people, it's a challenge, and I'm relying on contacts and relationships that I developed 10 plus years ago, or those people that are still there, and most of those people now are in leadership roles since then. And it's tough because it's email or it's phone, and of course you send an email and you might not hear anything back for a day or two, and if you were on site you could get it resolved almost immediately. So
Right.
it's the delay of things being completed in a timely manner, which I say timely within the same day. Now it's a day or two to get responses back. And when there's a delay in the permit application, or even just trying to get responses back for comments from a reviewer, when
Yeah.
you would be right there in front of them and you could ask them questions or go to their office and ask them questions. And so, I mean, those days turn into delays.
Yep.
When you have a schedule that the client has to stay on schedule. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what should our clients know about permitting? I mean, what should we be explaining at the front end of a project?
well, at the front end, I mean, they should know that, I mean, depending on the type of project that they're doing, I mean, if it's a interior alteration or if it's a new build, that the permitting process, depending on the jurisdiction, that permitting process could be longer than the design
Yeah.
phase. And so that's a part of the schedule that, I mean, I'm sure the GC would have probably looked at.
And that's always
Just
like
don't
question
get
one
it.
that I get, and I'm sure you as well, is how long is this whole process going to take? And it's always like we can always easily define our role and how long that timeline is.
Yeah,
And
we
it's
have
like,
our design schedule down to a science, but it's getting it in for permit,
I think with Don, I mean, Don, in my experience working with you for 18 years, particularly your communication with jurisdictions, we have an advantage just, I think, because of our personal relationships within a lot of these jurisdictions. So,
Correct.
I mean, I know personally the guys over at Howard County, guys and gals over
Yeah.
at Howard County. I mean, you're like on a first name basis with all of them,
Yeah.
right?
And
Same thing
so
with most of these jurisdictions.
that's one of the big things that I wanted when I decided that I was going to kind of take over this role as being the lead permit expediter. But back in the day, I wanted to make Arium known. I didn't just want to be that number. I wanted there should be a face with the name of Arium, and that
This
face would
is
be
why when
Don.
I would go to permit
And
offices,
so, yeah,
they would say, "How's Don's family?"
and so I knew all of
Yep.
the technicians, all of the
Yep.
reviewers, and it stayed that way for years, literally all the way up into March of 2020. So,
Right.
so I mean that was
Yeah.
one of the things that I pride myself in
There's a value to it. I mean,
getting. Yeah,
you know, we have a lot of national clients where I think they sometimes they don't necessarily realize the benefit to having a local team. I mean, the local team goes a long way.
yeah,
We've had a lot of projects fall back to us that way where, you know, national client using their national design group getting stuck or bogged down in a jurisdiction, and
and then they somehow
Arium
Arium's
jumped
name
in.
comes in.
We
Yeah,
kind of get known as the fixer in some of these jurisdictions just because of these relationships. So yeah, I totally agree.
yeah.
Hooray! Moving on. So let's get back to the next topic at hand here, which is camping. I've heard a lot of rumors surrounding camping. We covered earlier Don's dislike of the outdoors. There's stories related to honeymoons spent in a hotel room looking at the outdoors from a balcony, an enclosed balcony, to travel from an air-conditioned room. I mean, I get it, mosquitoes and such. No one loves any of these things. I hear, however, as a glamper myself, I hear you are somehow signed up for a wilderness camping trip. I've also heard you don't know where you're going. You've purchased a tent months ago, and you're not even sure exactly what this entails.
Well,
Will you live?
I don't know. So I don't know. My wife was supposed to be going on this said camping trip, and I was supposed to be left out of it completely. However,
So you
she
helped purchase the
she
tent.
had a back injury, in which point she will no longer be going, and so it's only up to me to Daddy Don to
Please tell me that somebody refers to you as Daddy Don. Do your
to
children call you Daddy Don?
no, they do
Is
not.
there another daddy? Is there like I mean, because then we got a whole nother conversation, Don. We have to talk
No,
about it.
so it is a fifth grade.
Do you have
Camping.
a T-shirt that says
No,
Daddy
don't
Don?
stop it. No,
Oh my God.
So-
There might be one being made.
there is. That's true.
Back to camping. Don bought a tent.
No, I didn't. Again, I did not buy a tent. My wife knew of this trip, and so last year bought a tent.
Yeah, how long
For-
has this trip been planned?
It's planned for every May. So
Okay.
every May, the fifth graders, and he's fifth grader now, would go on this trip. So she was being proactive. I think she bought it.
Bought a tent years in advance,
She bought it.
as one does.
She bought it during Black Friday, so it was on sale. That's why she bought
course.
it. So
Have you opened it?
no, it I literally see it almost every day.
Have you
And when I go
have
to
you
the
watched a
basement,
YouTube video
I
on
have-
how to set this temp?
I
This
have not.
This is going to be
Bill,
an
this
amazing.
this
experience.
change just occurred Sunday afternoon, and so I never looked at the application.
So
the
you're
field
going
trip.
camping in May.
I have a week and a half to look at things and get prepared.
Well, it's fifth grader. I can't imagine they're going to throw fifth graders like out in the wilderness. There'll probably be a bathroom somewhere at this camp.
I hope so.
I'm kind of hoping like it's a random weekend that I'm at a camping trip, but that would be. I just can imagine a bunch of young impressionable children looking for a male role model that knows how to survive a wilderness exercise.
Not me.
And Don complaining that his Samsung Galaxy Watch doesn't have internet signal to order something on Amazon that he forgot and have it delivered
Like air
to him.
conditioning.
Like air conditioning.
Yeah, air conditioning.
I hate to break it to you, buddy, but your tent likely does not have air conditioning.
Oh, but it will have some fans.
Have you bought those yet?
I might bring my generator.
I hope you do. So somewhere undisclosed location in Baltimore County, maybe.
I don't even know.
Maybe not.
I have no idea.
There will be the relaxing sounds of a diesel generator.
It's not diesel, it's an electric. So the electric boxes that have power for days. That's all. It should be able to power
How
those
much
fans
do
for
those
days.
cost?
A few $100s.
So this camping trip is going to cost you thousands of dollars probably by the time it's all said and
I
done.
need to be comfortable, Bill.
The phone will never lose battery power. There will be a fan running at any given time.
Multiple fans.
Multiple fans.
Multiple fans.
You still may not make it. We're still not a positive.
I don't know. It's very up in the air right now.
Do you have supply? Like, have you bought?
No.
Okay.
There's
I've
a
got
tent.
nothing.
There's a tent.
I've got nothing. I have a travel trailer like we talked about last episode. I have a 40-inch 4K television with with internet. I don't know how I would live in a camp. I always walk past the tent campers and I'm like, well, that's not a life for me. I
agree.
I will have a conversation with them. I'm like, I'll drive by with my beer, in my golf cart. And I'm like, how are we doing, gentlemen? And they're always like, filleting some fish they caught in a lake.
I
telling me
don't grill.
looking like they're going to have a rough evening of, caught fish for dinner. Whereas, I'm like thawing out my chicken breast to cook on my Blackstone. It's a different world.
Nice.
All right. Well, thank you, Don, for joining. And I have no idea how to wrap it up.